Hello everybody, welcome to our first Python video. The primary focus of this video is going to be numerical data. However, first let's start with a nice simple example of writing a hello world style program. And in Python this is actually quite easy. All we can do is type print hello Python. And then out it will pop hello Python. So a couple of things which are worth noting. First is that this hashtag here gives you a comment to text. The second is that if you want to use a multi-line comment, you can use these triple single quotes. So quote, quote, quote. Multiple line comments can be enclosed in single quotes. And as in other languages, anything you type here will be ignored by the compiler. Now, our hello world style program was only one line. We didn't need any semicolons. You actually can use semicolons in Python if you want. However, you don't need to, and there's really no reason to. Now on to numbers. So with the Jupyter Notebook framework, you can just use Python as a calculator. You can type in 21 plus 6, and out pops 33. You can do more complicated mathematical expressions like 2 times 3 plus 5, and out pops 15. Sorry, out pops 21. It's been a long day and I've forgotten how to do arithmetic. Alrighty, and you can type in 36 divided by 12, and this is actually going to be a little bit interesting. You'd think you'd get 3, but you actually get 3.0. And this leads us into the concept of different types of numerical data in Python. There are ints, which are whole numbers and do not have a decimal point, and there are floats, which have a decimal point. And Python does its best to assume which data type you want, and it automatically guesses. Now, for here where you've got a whole number plus a whole number, it's just going to output an int. Division, it defaults to always returning a float unless you tell it to do otherwise. Now, of course, if you did 36 divided by like 15 or something, this is, of course, going to also return a float of a 2.4. Now, if you want to manually convert between data types, you can do this using the int and float commands. So, for example, if we print 36 divided by 12, this is going to print 3. Sorry, this will print 3.0. But if we print int of 36 divided by 12, this is just going to print 3. Because we have manually converted it to an int. Similarly, if we type in print 1 plus 2, this is going to print 3. But if we print float of 1 plus 2, this is going to print 3 plus 0. So as we can see, just like we said, 3.0, 3.3, and 3.0. We can also do lots of other basic math operations. If you want to use powers, you use a double star. So this gives you 2 to the 3. This gives you 2 to the 4. And this would give you 3 to the 2. 3 squared, 9. Modulus gives you the remainder. So 11 divided by 5 is 2 with a remainder of 1. So if you type 11% symbol 2, out pops a 1. Now, by now, you might have noticed that we've printed things 2 different ways. If you want to print something, you can type print this message. Or you can also type this message. And so it'll automatically print things when you type the word print, and Python also defaults to printing the last line of a cell. And you will note that there's actually a very slightly different format when you do the printing method 1 versus printing method 2. Now on to integer division. So like we said, 11 divided by 5 is 2 with a remainder of 2, but if you just type this gives you 2.2. If you wanted to get the 2, because it's 2 with a remainder of 5, to do integer division, you use a double slash. And this just gives you a 2. As in other languages, and working with floating point operators, you need to be a little bit careful because things are usually not quite exactly equal. So let's say we have the square root of 2, 2 raised to the 0.5 power, times the square root of 2. Well, this doesn't actually give us 2. This gives us 2.0000004. So if we subtracted 2 from this, we wouldn't get 0. We'd get 4.44 times 10 to the negative 16th. So that's the basics for numerical computations. Now let's move on to variables. And what's really nice about variables is you don't need to declare them. You can just type in x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 2.5. And the compiler will automatically note that the type of x is an int and that the type of y is a float. Moreover, we can just type in x plus y and out pops 5.5, and that's going to have type float because an int plus a float is a float. Now, what's really nifty is that Python, in addition to guessing, it can guess and change. It's dynamically typed. So if we type in x is equal to 2.5, now the type of x is a float. We can change from an int to a float and a float to an int as much as we want. And so that is basically it for our first lecture today. The last thing I do want to point out is how to pay attention to memory locations. If you want to see where x is located in memory, you type id x. And if you want to see where y is located in memory, you type id y, where id stands for identity. So that's it for our first video. I will see you guys again next time.